how do I advance my career as a comedy animation writer? This is a question that I ask myself and still ask myself all the time. And I know a lot of writers, regardless of what genre they write, ask, how do I get people to write or read rather my writing samples? How do I get people, my script into the right people's hands? And this is hands down what I'm going to talk about in this video, the best way that I've found to advance any writing career, regardless of what genre you write. I write comedy animation or adult animation, animated comedy, what have you, whatever you want to call it. But I think if you write thrillers or rom-coms or whatever, this might still apply to you. And so here's the answer. Produce your own stuff. That's it. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. There's a little bit more to that. But that's what we're going to talk about today. And by the way, if you're new to my channel, my name is Patrick Will. I'm an ex-TikToker. I made comedy skits on TikTok and gained a following of 150,000 people. And now I make adult animation, like I said, or animated comedy, comedy animation, whatever you want to call it. So far, I've produced 8 animated shorts, and these shorts gained the attention of several producers who reached out to me and asked me to pitch a series for them. And so I had pitch meetings because of these animated shorts that I produced. And that's why I'm so big on producing your own stuff. And that's why I'm making this video, to talk about why I think it makes so much sense as a writer to not only learn how to produce your own stuff, but to actually do it too. Okay? And so I've spent years and literally thousands of hours up until this point just trying to understand how the industry works and obviously get better as a writer. See, that's me as a cartoon character. Look how smart I look reading a book. You can tell it's me because I'm wearing a red shirt. So my promise is I'm going to try my absolute best in this video to save you those thousands of hours that I spent trying to convince you, hopefully, or just at least talk about why I think producing something makes so much sense as a writer. I'm a writer first too, by the way. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. Why produce something, what to produce, and how to produce it. And by the end of this video, or at the end, I'm going to give you literally my step-by-step process or guide that I use to produce an animation. And that's probably the most valuable thing that I can give you in this video. And so stick around for that. So let's let's talk about why. So I really think the industry has changed. And it seems like all the higher up people that I talk to feels the same way. Gone are the days of trying to, well, find representation first, becoming a writer's assistant or a PA on a show, becoming a staff writer, and then a showrunner maybe, and then trying to sell your show that way, or from then on. I don't think it's impossible. Excuse me, I have burps. I just had lunch. I don't think it's impossible, but I think the odds are so astronomically low these days to go that traditional route that it seems like there's a better path these days. And we'll get back to that in just a second, okay? So let's talk about why you should produce something. For me, I improved tremendously as a writer producing something, okay? I got better at writing jokes. I got better at writing dialogue because actually I heard it spoken out loud, right? I heard my jokes spoken out loud. I heard the dialogue spoken out loud. I got to understand where all the fluff was in my scripts. And so, once I actually saw it play out on screen, I was like, okay, yeah, those sentences could probably be cut, or that entire scene could probably be cut. I also got better at writing transitions because I actually got to see them play out on screen. And I got to understand my pacing better. And this was huge for me. When the first pilot that I wrote was 40 plus pages. And that was for a half-hour comedy, right? For, a 21-minute episode of a comedy series. Like Family Guy, The Simpsons, those shows are typically 21 minutes, right? And I thought those 40 plus pages would equate to 21 minutes on screen. And then I produced a pilot animatic for that pilot, which was the first thing that I produced. And that ended up being 30 plus minutes, which shouldn't be a surprise to many people, but it was kind of a surprise for me. So I got to understand my pacing of writing. And by the way, if you're curious, for me, it's about 1.5 pages equals 1 minute on screen. For some people, it's maybe like half a page equals 1 minute if you write, if you like a slow style. And by the way, what is it with people who say that 1 minute equals 1 page? Or one page equals 1 minute. It drives me nuts when people say that. That's so not true. Have you ever read any half-hour script ever? Any professional produced half-hour script? That's not how it works. Like any 21-minute sitcom or animated sitcom, it's like in the high 20s or 30 plus pages, or a Family Guy or a Simpsons script is 40 plus pages, although those are formatted in a different way though. But anyway, that's besides the point. So people can see it. This is a huge point. I think it's so much easier to get people to see what you've produced than to get people to read your scripts. And it makes sense. Like nobody likes reading, right? It takes effort to read something, but it's a passive activity to sit and watch something someone has made. And so that's a huge advantage if you want to show people what you're capable of. And here's the biggest point of them all. If you produce something and put it out there, you can build an audience. And we've seen this with, Vivian Madrano, I think her name is, Vivsi Pop, who made Has-Been Hotel. I hope I said her name right. And Michael Cusack, who made Smiling Friends, or Sack, who also made Smiling Friends, right? Those two guys started off of YouTube, building an audience. And here's the thing. If you try to go the traditional route, right, the route that we talked about before, getting representation, becoming an assistant on a show, working up to staff writer, working up the ranks there, and then eventually pitching and selling your shows, that's all well and good. But you don't have this over here. You don't have the audience. But if you go this route, if you build an audience first, you also have the possibility to have this thing over here. Because if you demonstrate that you know what you're doing and you can attract people to watch your stuff, then I promise you, well, I can't promise you because I sort of know because I've experienced it myself, but I speculate, my hypothesis is that these people over here, the showrunners, the executives, the producers, the representatives, they will come to you, right? So let producers and executives come to you. Instead of trying to chase them, if you build an audience and you play your own game over here, I really have a strong feeling that these people over here will also come to you. And you can play both games at the same time if you start over here. But it doesn't go the other way around if you only chase the traditional route. And again, that's how I got pitch meetings. Literally, I produced animated shorts and producers reached out to me to pitch. And so I have little proof of this actually being the case. And this is what I'm hands down doubling down on. I thought from the very beginning when I first started writing that I would go this route, the traditional route only. I never planned on trying to build an audience first. But this is hands down what I am doubling down on now. Okay, whew. Can we take a little water break here? It's electrolyte water, so it tastes bad. So that's the why. Let's talk about what to produce. Okay, so this is what I did. Like I said, the first thing that I produced was a pilot animatic for my series Nappyville. So I wrote the half-hour pilot for Nappyville, and then I decided to just go crazy and produce a pilot animatic for this series. And as you can see, it turned out to be 25 minutes. I think the first draft turned out to be 30 plus minutes, and I removed a lot of scenes from it. Again, talking about all the fluff that I realized that I had in there. And this I put this thing up on YouTube, and it wasn't great, and so I unlisted it from YouTube. It's no longer up there because it's not good, and it's not really representative of what I'm capable of now. But what it did was it really helped me improve as a writer. So that was the first thing that producing something did for me. And later what I did was I actually produced shorts for the series, like fully produced shorts, not just animatics or storyboard versions. And so I made 8 of these. And as you can see, they're like 1 to 4 minutes a piece. And these gained a little bit of attention from the right people. They didn't blow up view-wise, but they did serve their purpose of gaining attention from producers, which was the goal from them. And so what should you do? What should you produce? And the honest answer is I don't know. I don't know what you should produce. It really depends on what you want to do. But let me tell you what I have done and what I plan to do. And then you can make your own decision on whether you want to do the same thing. I think what I want to do makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. So what I do is I write the half-hour series first, right? I develop them, I create the characters, the worlds, the premises, all that stuff, write the half-hour pilots, and then make concept art and build a Bible and pitch decks and all that stuff. I do that first, and then I want to produce shorts, like proof of concept shorts for those series. And that's what I'm going to double down on. Excuse me, I still have the burps. Terrible timing. So that's what I'm going to double down on. So that's what I'm going to do. Create the series first and then make the shorts for those series. And I think what that also does is that if people watch them and actually like the characters and the worlds and they ask me to pitch a series, then I can actually pitch that series because I already have all the material ready, right? I have a pilot script, pitch decks, all of that stuff. So I think that makes a lot of sense, at least in my head. Okay, so that was the what. Let's talk about how. So there are 3 ways to do this, okay? There's do it yourself. You can get other people to do it by paying them, or you can get other people to do it for free. And I've done all of these 3 things, and all of them have pros and cons. So let's talk about doing it yourself. Here are the cons. It takes time to do it because you're literally doing it yourself, right? But here's the thing. It also takes time to learn the skills to do it yourself. So if you want to animate something, you first have to learn how to animate before you can actually animate. So you spent time twice, okay? That's why it takes so long to do something yourself. Here are the pros. It's free because you're literally doing it yourself. But you also unlock new skills, right? So what I did in the beginning, I did everything myself in the first few things that I made. Literally everything, okay? I animated, I did the storyboards, I drew the characters, the backgrounds, the voice acting, sound design, post-production, everything. And for me, that was really important because I wanted to at least get a fundamental understanding of everything that goes into a production. So I'm a writer, I aspire to become a showrunner and create my own full-length shows. And as a showrunner, I do think it's important to have this fundamental understanding of all the aspects of a production. Because once I have someone to do it for me, I can empathize with those people, right? I understand what they're going through because I've done it myself. I can more easily communicate with them. I speak their language. And so for me, it was important to learn all these things first before I started outsourcing. Now I have an animator, a background designer, et cetera, voice actors, right? Okay, let's talk about getting other people to do it by paying them. The con, it costs money, right? That's a con. And minimum skills are unlocked here, right? You are going to, you're going to have to learn how to hire people, how to communicate with people, how to give people feedback, but you're not going to learn how to do things yourself, which I think is important. The pros are it's the easiest way to do it and the fastest way to do it because you're literally paying someone else to do it for you. So getting other people to do it for free, here are the cons. It takes time to build the relationships necessary to get people to do something for you for free, right? At least I've never just met a random person off the street or in a Facebook group and just asked them to do something for me for free. I don't think so, at least. People who have done something for me for free in my work have all been people that I have a relationship with first. And by the way, this goes both ways. Like, I'm happy to help my friends and people in my network out as well for free. So it goes both ways, right? And there's a possibility that what they do is going to be lower quality. This is another con. It's not necessarily going to be that way, but if people are investing their free time to do something, it kind of feels icky to give them notes or feedback and tell them to do something over because they're doing it for free, And also, since they're not getting paid for it, they might not invest that much time and energy into it. So that's just something to keep in mind. So let's talk about the pros. It's free to get people to do it for you for free. And you also build a network, or you build a network beforehand. That's what I did, right? I spent a lot of time networking in the beginning. So, okay. And so you might be, like, I can't do it myself. I don't know how to, or I don't have the money to pay someone to do it for me, or I don't know anybody who could do it for me for free. And you're not going to like what I have to say about this. Just stop with the excuses, okay? Like, if you want this, you do what's required. And I really hope this doesn't come off as preaching, because that's the last thing I want to do. I'm saying this as much to myself as to anybody else, because we have all these excuses in our heads. And so if I didn't know how to do it myself, I would learn it right? We literally have a free 24/7 tutor in the palm of our hands or on our screen. And I'm talking about ChatGPT or whatever, another AI. They can literally teach you anything for free. Or you have YouTube videos for free, or you can buy a book or a course. You can learn these skills. If I didn't have money to pay someone to do it for me, I would make money. Okay, I would take more shifts. I would stop spending money on stupid shit. And I know this is probably the point that's going to ruffle a lot of feathers, okay? I get it, but there are people out there who are willing to sacrifice everything to get what you want. And if you're not even willing to sacrifice half of what they're sacrificing, I mean, it's game over. The competition is going to be too fierce. That I know it's rough. And listen, when I started this whole thing, I'm a writer first. I did not get into this because I thought I had to do all these things myself, or let alone spend a lot of money on this stuff. But if that is what's required for me to achieve my goals, that's what I'm gonna do. At least that's how I think about it. Okay. And if I didn't know anybody else anybody who could help me do it for free, then I would network. Again, when I first started, I networked like crazy. I spend an hour every single day reaching out to people, sending out network requests, like literally every single day. I still network every day, not an hour every day anymore, but I still do it daily. Okay, so that's the step-by-step guide. Or sorry, that wasn't the step-by-step guide. This is the step-by-step guide. Let me see if I can remove my face here real quick. Let's see, how do I do that? Yep, I think that did it. Did it do it? Okay, cool. So this is my literal step-by-step process for producing an animated short. You can pause the video, take a screenshot, use this however you like. This makes the process so much less overwhelming. It just makes it takes out the guessing work to literally have like this step-by-step process. So I know that once I complete step 10, I go into step 11. Once I complete step 11, I go into to step 12, right? It just makes the process so much easier. So I hope you find a lot of value in this too. Cool. If you enjoyed this, please consider to subscribe. It's free. It takes less than 5 minutes, and from what I understand, it's painless to hit that subscribe button. At least every time I've subscribed to somebody, I never felt any pain. I promise. I hope that's also the case here if you hit the subscribe button. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Peace.